This is Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
Today, we're with the very lovely Janice from Mind How You Go, who is somebody in my world. How long have we known each other now, Janice? A couple of years?
6 years, yeah.
And who absolutely always reminds me that actually I need to put self-care in my daily routine, and very much so over the last couple of months. That's how it's been. So I absolutely wanted Janice to come and talk to us about what her self-care is. But first of all, we'll get Janice to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself.
So, hi, I'm Janice. I wear many hats. I am a wife, a mum, a daughter, a friend, holistic therapist. I don't really define myself in any one of those areas. I like all those parts of me, but my passion in life is trying to spread the ripple of love, light and healing across the world, one client at a time. And that's very much helping people to develop a self-care practice.
I would say, Janice, that actually that's not just about one client at a time, but it's just everybody. You spread a bit. I call Janice Mrs. Safe Hands because whenever you're on a session with Janice, it just feels like you can let go and Janice has just got hold of you. Tell us a little bit about the situation where you first realised you needed to put a self-care regime into your world.
So when I was a teenager, all the way back when I was a young teenager, I was bullied at school. And it had an awful impact on my whole life, my mental health, my social circle. It was horrible. And the only thing that got me through it was journaling. And at the time, I didn't know that was self-care. I just picked up a notebook one day and then just started writing in it. But that started my lifelong obsession with writing something down every day. I think I was able to work through my feelings. I was able to write down my fears. And I think the thing that really helped me with the journaling was I was able to be honest with myself about the situation. And I couldn't do that out loud with anybody else. So that was when I started my self-care journey, but I didn't realize that that's what I'd done. And then many, many years later, my dad was diagnosed with COPD, which is a chronic condition that would just get worse and worse and worse over time. And then he had a stroke that left him with early onset dementia. And I was so close to my dad. He was just my everything. And the prospect of him becoming more and more poorly, again, really negatively impacted me. So I then consciously sought out self-care. I knew that I needed something to help me get through supporting him and my mum. And that's when I really came to meditation and Reiki and building a daily practice so that I really could look after myself, so that I could look after him.
So what actually made you think I need to look after myself first? Because, often in those situations you would go, oh, I need to look after my dad and I need to be there for my mum, and we put ourselves last. What made you realise actually you needed to be the person first in the queue?
Because I was no good to anybody in the state that I was in. His diagnosis hit him really hard. And the dementia more than the COPD, actually. No, I knew COPD was going to be the thing that ultimately got him. Because I was worried that he would forget who I was.
Yeah.
I was worried about how that memory loss was going to affect my life, which sounds a little bit selfish when I say it out loud. But I fell apart for a little bit. I was just so emotional and just really weepy and spiraling down into this oblivion of he's never going to remember who I am and it's going to be awful. And I just was snapping at people. I wasn't sleeping properly. I wasn't eating properly. When I was going over to mum to help with my dad to give her some respite from being his carer, I wasn't as patient as I could have been. And it wasn't until I had this big kind of complete breakdown at home, really. I just sobbed for hours on end. I just kind of heard this voice in my head say to me, get a grip. like you're no good to anybody, sort yourself out and then you can help. And that's kind of what I did. And it works.
So knowing a little bit about what you do at Mind How You Go, who would you say the voice was now looking back on it?
Oh my gosh, 100% was my intuition tapping into my guardian angel. It was absolutely my guardian angel. And I look back on that time now and all the signs were there and I was missing them, seeing them, but not noticing that they were signs. And I think the only way my guardian angel was able to get me to really stop and pay attention to all these signs around me was for me to have this big emotional breakdown where I sobbed so much. I was like fully dehydrated. I'd lost so much fluid. Yeah. And that's what it was, you know, and yeah, I'm incredibly grateful for my guardian angel.
We've had a good couple of sessions, haven't we? And I have a particular angel that appears mostly when we're talking to each other. And I do wonder whether or not he's played a part today. But that's a story for another day. So do you have a daily strategy? And is it around stress or is it around just caring? Or do you have different types of strategies?
So yes, I have like a monthly self-care routine that involves me going for a different group that I get different things from. So I go for a sound bath, I go for breath work, I go for a massage, and I go for Reiki. So I do 1 week. I have a budget for self-care. So I do one group a week just for me that kind of replenishes me in different ways. And then I have a daily negotiable practice. And my whole family know about this. So before I even get out of bed, I do my morning meditation and I connect with the angels. And then throughout the day, I will make time to do self-Reiki, another meditation probably, and then whatever else I feel I need to do within that day. So sometimes it can be like just a 5-minute practice, but I've done something for me. Other times I can take myself away for a couple of hours and just meditate, journal, read a book, whatever it is that I'm choosing to do for self-care that day. But I, without fail, every single day, do something just for me.
And do you think also, I mean, you've mentioned your family there, and obviously I know that you're a big fan of Kyle Gray. Do you think, who is rapidly coming into my life at great speed at the moment, and do you think it also helps not only obviously to have your self-care package, but also to have the right people around? And would you say that that's also part of your self-care package?
Oh my goodness, yes. So I have over the years changed the circle that I have around me. There are some friends and some family that I just don't engage with anymore because they don't serve me. And that sounds incredibly arrogant to say that, but they were having a negative impact on my well-being. So they had to go. So I now surround myself with people that raise me up, that support me. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still some people within my life that can be a little bit of an energy vampire, but I know how to kind of deal with that now. I surround myself with professional people in the same field. So I have different practitioners that I can call upon to kind of raise me up as well. I surround myself with like different memberships. I am a member of Kyle Gray's, 2 of Kyle Gray's memberships, actually. Highly, highly recommend anything that Kyle does. He is just amazing. Yeah, I do. I'm kind of like, if I find an interest in something, I'll go and research it and find the expert because I like to learn more about things, and you go to the expert about things like that. But yeah, definitely surround myself with people that are nice, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but there have been times in my life where I've had not nice people around me and I've kind of been like, oh, well, I need to be kind. I need to be compassionate. No. When you put yourself first and you understand that your mental health, your well-being is the most vital thing that you need to look after, then you just get a bit ruthless with it. You're like, just no, that's not serving me. You've got to go. And I am a much better wife, mother, daughter, holistic therapist because I put myself first.
And that's one of the things that I was just going to say is the fact that actually it does sound a bit brutal, doesn't it? Getting people saying no more. And it's something I've had to do myself. And it's not an easy do, is it? But you actually have to get yourself into that place and go, I cannot allow my energy to just keep being zapping by this person, because if you don't look after yourself, nobody else can look after you.
Yeah.
So if you have negative people in your life, and 9 times out of them, they're wanting you to give them something, and you can't create that for them because they're not looking after themselves. So it in no way is it a win situation. It's just a completely negative situation that you need to walk away from. So going back to your self-care strategies, how long do you spend on it each day? I know if you've got loads of time, you could just spend all day on it, couldn't you, Janice? But, what would be your least amount that you spend on yourself?
15 minutes. So a 5-minute connection in the morning before I even get out of bed, where I just meditate to be grateful that I woke up, quite frankly. I just, thank you for this new day. It's a couple of intentions in my mind. Welcome the angels in. Thank you for your presence. I'm open to your guidance today. I would often call a specific angel in the morning if there's something that I want to achieve that day. And then always before bed, I write in a journal. So I have lots of different journals, but lots of different things. I have a gratitude journal. I have a journal prompt journal, a moon journal, or just a get it off my chest, out of my head onto the paper journal. I do that without fail before I go to bed. And then I do a meditation before bed. So those are my total non-negotiables. Do them every single day without fail. So just 15 minutes.
But also you can do, when you're starting out, one of the things I'm talking to people about a lot at the moment is actually 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Anything is better than nothing.
Some self-care is better than no self-care. Absolutely.
And I was talking to somebody the other day who I managed to persuade, yes, you do need to do some self-care. And she just couldn't believe how much better she felt and how much more time she has in her day because she looks after herself. And she said, how does that work? When I spend more time on me, I get more time in my day. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It sets you up in the right way. And it's about respect, I think, having more respect for yourself. And, you've honored yourself with spending 2 minutes just for you. It raises your vibration. It boosts your confidence, your self-esteem. It makes you happier, which has that knock-on effect throughout your whole day to make you so much more productive. Yeah. So I noticed the days when my self-care hasn't been as robust as it could be. I definitely noticed that impact. But when people are starting out, don't aim to have an hour's practice like I do. When I first started out having a kind of conscious self-care routine, I didn't do that. Sometimes it was literally looking at myself in the mirror, really looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I love you. And that was it. And that was my self-care practice. Or I did a lot of kind of, you've got this, you can do this, it'll be all right. Just those little snippets telling myself, just looking after myself. So
I have to say that was my first start. My first start was telling myself every morning as soon as I woke up was, I'm amazing, and today is going to be a great day, and it just starts that day off, doesn't it?
It really does.
Janice, I'd love to have you back at another point in time to talk about more in depth of what you do at Mind How You Go. But for the minute, let people know what they can get from you if they can't find it, and people actually go. Check Janice out because she's destined for great things and she's going to be one of those people that you aspire to, because I aspire to her already. So go check her out, but she's going to tell you about what she does.
Thanks, Jenny. That's so kind. So I'm a holistic therapist. I offer a range of one-to-one sessions and group sessions. So I do Reiki drum, which is amazing. Which incorporates healing and meditation as well. I'm a massage therapist, so I like to combine like an Indian head massage with a Reiki healing session as well. I host different mindful groups where we just explore different types of meditation and Reiki drum exercises, and I do those online and in person. So everything I do can be done online apart from the massage. That's the only thing you have to have done in person. And then, it's just all about helping people to connect with themselves, navigate their healing journeys, and just really dedicate that time to a self-care practice. And one of the things that I really wanted to achieve was to make self-care accessible and affordable for everybody. So I have a range of packages. So I have a group that's just £5 every other week via Zoom, all the way up to a one-to-one session with me, which is like £75 for an hour and a half. And then everywhere in between, there is definitely something to suit everybody's budget.
And you're talking on the £5 isn't something you have to pay every other, it's not a subscription. You just pay it, don't you? You can come along and say, it's called a Mindful Monday, isn't it, Janice? And it comes along and you book in and you pay your £5, and then, you don't have to come back again, or you can come back a bit later, or you can get something more, but it's not something you have to pay on a regular basis. It's just something.
No, you don't even have to attend the group. I've got a little band of people that I've never actually met, and they just book in to have the replay, which is really nice, actually. So they don't have the time when I've set the group up, but they have the audio replay and they do it in their own time, which is perfect.
And when you do your replays, you do it so that you don't have anybody else's pictures of their homes, their faces, or anything involved, do you? It's just your face when you send out the replay.
It's just an audio replay. The people that are on the Zoom call are all there by choice. They choose whether to have their cameras on or off, and that's fine. But I just think, just to protect people's privacy, it's nice that if you haven't attended the group, you don't then get to see inside everybody else's house.
Yes, indeed. Especially mine at sometimes, because I'm an avid fan of Mindful Monday. Do like a Mindful Monday, sets me up for my week. So, Janice, thank you ever so much for today. Hopefully we'll have you back in a few weeks' time to go more in depth, especially about your angel work. I'd love to hear a bit more about that as well. Thank you ever so much, Janice.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.